I'm gonna try to get my money back for this. You stay away from this brand and this part number. I've been plagued lately for the last 2 years with belt and pulley issues and noises, and I finally figured out why. The reason for all my issues was this. But before I show you what that is, let's do a little backstory. About 2 years ago, almost to the day, my alternator started to overcharge my battery and my battery started spitting out acid. Found out that the alternator was bad, so I replaced it with the remanufactured one. Everything was fine, but then there was some kind of belt noises. It didn't seem as quiet as it was before. So I figured the idler pulley might have gone bad. I replaced that. Things sounded okay for a bit, but then they started making a little bit more noise. So took a look at that. I didn't replace it with a Mitsubishi one at the time. I replaced it with a Dayco one, and it looked like it had slightly different design than the OEM one. When I put this Dayco one in, shortly after, the belt popped off. Hey, my car just decided to pop the belt off. Luckily, I wasn't too far away from home. I was able to drive home without any alternator or air conditioning and get it home just on the battery power. So I figured the pulley was bad and I ordered a Mitsubishi OEM one and put that on. Everything seemed okay for a little bit, but it still wasn't perfectly quiet. And I could kind of hear it as I drove it more and just had more acceleration. It wasn't very high or very loud. So I was doing a ton of research, couldn't quite narrow down what it was. Had suggestions that maybe the idler pulley was bad, that I got sent the wrong part. But the more and more I looked at it, I kept thinking that the alternator was the root. I thought maybe it was misaligned from when I installed it. And so I tried to realign that. If you watched one of the previous videos where I tried to troubleshoot this issue and couldn't get the thing to move at all. So I still thought that it had to do with the alternator. So looked at a lot of videos online, tried to find some forum posts. And what I noticed is that the alternator in a lot of these videos or pictures, the backside where the pulley is, looked a little different than mine. And just slightly different. It was hard to tell based on the angle of the picture or the camera. But the more I looked at it, I just had the feeling that I got the wrong alternator. I had my previous alternator that was overcharging, and when I looked at it, I could see that it might be different than what's installed. You know, with all the piping and the brackets and whatnot in the way, it's hard to tell when the alternator was on the car. So I took the alternator out, and I was able to prove my hunch that the pulley sticks out further from this side than it does in the original alternator. So this was a remanufactured alternator, but it also could be used for multiple Mitsubishi cars. So when they rebuilt this one, they put this wrong housing on, which has this extrusion here that sticks out further than it does for the original alternator. So I ordered a new alternator from AutoZone and built by Duralast. And what you can see here is that this housing doesn't stick out like the other one does. To stick out further. So the belt, you can see how this pulley, this housing is a little different. And the housing makes the pulley stick out more than the new one that I received. And to confirm, I'll pull out my Mitsubishi one, which I replaced 2 years ago. Mitsubishi, Duralast, rebuilt Mitsubishi from CarQuest. And the one that I had before does not have that extrusion on this housing. So that was causing my belt to be off track and had me chasing down a rabbit hole. So now I'm gonna put in the new Duralast alternator, and then I'm gonna try to get my money back for this. So buyer beware, if you are replacing your alternator, double, triple check that where the pulley is correct. Otherwise, you will have some headaches. If you are replacing your alternator with a remanufactured one, I would highly suggest you stay away from this brand and this part number. I'm not sure if it's even offered anymore, and that's because they'll send you the wrong unit. So happy I found the root of the issue. Annoyed that I went down chasing other potential issues. Wasn't able to enjoy the car truly these last 2 years. I was able to drive and stuff, but I just could tell that something was a little bit off. Now it's time to put it in.